You may have heard the rumors, seen the price changes, and even felt the panic in the market. But what if we told you that all of this was predicted? Ripple's XRP has had its fair share of ups and downs, but two people in the crypto world have warned about what's happening now. Pool, who is known for sending cryptic messages, and David Schwartz, who is Ripple's chief technology officer. There have been hints about the future of XRP for a while now. These warnings weren't just guesses or random thoughts. They were well thought out predictions based on a deep understanding of the market. However, many people didn't listen to them, instead focusing on short-term changes and hype. Now that XRP's journey is underway, it's clear that those who didn't listen to the experts may not see the bigger picture for many years. Mr. Poole has been sharing strange posts that seem to guess when XRP's big moves will happen, from price changes to big market events. Many people dismiss these as mysteries or coincidences, but the patterns are too clear to ignore. At the same time, David Schwartz, a seasoned crypto and blockchain expert, has always stressed the importance of thinking about the long run. He has told XRP investors over and over again not to get caught up in the noise of daily price changes and to keep their eyes on the bigger picture. Even though there were clear signs, many traders and investors have stuck with Ripple because of its real-world uses and potential to change the financial system. Investors have been too focused on quick profits by getting in and out of the market based on fear or excitement. But as the market goes through corrections and sudden changes, it's clear that the advice given by Mr. Coe and David Schwartz is more important than ever. The truth is that XRP's true value isn't in its price today, but in Ripple's long-term vision for global payments and cross-border transactions. Experts have been warning about the XRP market and its growing partnerships. Those who didn't listen to them may soon realize they missed a great chance to get in on the ground floor of something much bigger. Let's look more closely at the warnings Mr. P and David Schwartz have been giving and why you might be kicking yourself now that you didn't. Price-wise, it's about the future, and those who understand it will really benefit. To fully understand why Mr. P and David Schwartz's warnings were so important, we need to learn more about them and why their ideas are so important in the world of Ripple and XRP. Both have been making useful but often overlooked predictions that could come true, have helped investors avoid some of the mistakes that are now being seen in the market. Let's start with Mr. P. Mr. P is a mysterious figure who is known for posting cryptic messages on social media that often seem to predict big changes in the crypto world, especially when it comes to XRP. His posts have long fascinated and confused many in the community. Even though no one knows who Mr. P really is, his predictions have been eerily accurate over time. He shared information about timing, price changes, and market events that make perfect sense when you look back on them. These messages often give a hint of what might be coming next, but many people ignore them as vague or not conclusive. However, Ripple's journey continues. His consistent predictions make us wonder if his warnings were more than just a coincidence. For example, Mr. P often pointed out times when the price of XRP would change a lot, sometimes hinting at a sudden drop or a big event that would shake up the market. While many people reacted emotionally at these times, his vague hints seemed to be, if investors had paid more attention to these subtle signs, they could have avoided the panic selling that caused many people to miss the XRP rally. The most important thing to remember is that Mr. Poole's advice wasn't always about trading on short-term price changes, but about seeing the bigger picture, which is something that many people didn't do. Traders often miss the big picture when they are feeling emotional. Now let's talk about David Schwartz, the Chief Technology Officer of Ripple. Unlike Mr. P's mysterious messages, Schwartz's messages are clear. Schwartz is much more clear, but his warnings are just as strong. Schwartz has always been a strong supporter of thinking about the long term and keeping Ripple's main goals in mind. Schwartz said that XRP's real value is not in its short-term price changes, but in the way it changes cross-border payments in the financial system as a whole. Schwartz said that XRP is meant to be a bridge currency that helps make international payments faster and cheaper. That goal is in mind as Ripple's technology changes, and buyers who pay attention to that, visionaries who don't try to make quick money, will be the ones who succeed in the long run. One of the most important things to learn from Schwartz's advice is how important it is to be patient. XRP isn't like most cryptocurrencies that you buy and sell based on daily price changes. Ripple wants long-term growth and real-world adoption, not quick profits, which is a bad thing for many. Schwartz was trying to get investors to see the bigger picture, but investors were swayed by the promise of quick profits. As XRP continues to gain popularity, it becomes clearer how important it is to be patient and think about the long run. Today, Schwartz's advice to ignore market noise is more important than ever. Investors who sold off their XRP and people who were scared during times of instability may have missed out on the asset's huge long-term growth potential. Partnering with banks and getting more involved in projects like central bank digital currencies are two things that make Ripple stand out. CBDCs are building the groundwork for XRP to become an important part of the global financial system, but those who weren't ready for that already have. Those who didn't pay attention to short-term price changes and instead focused on quick wins may wish they had listened to Schwartz's advice. Both Mr. P and David Schwartz have consistently pointed to a bigger picture for XRP and the future of Ripple. Their warnings weren't meant to predict a short-term price crash or tell investors to trade on every market. Instead, they stressed how important it was to look beyond the current market conditions and focus on Ripple's long-term goals. For those investors who didn't listen, the consequences are starting to show as XRP continues to steadily rise and establish itself as a key player in the global financial ecosystem. What does this mean for investors who didn't listen? Is there still hope for them in the future? How can they make sure they don't make the same mistakes again? Let's look more closely at what buyers can do right now to make the most of XRP's long-term value. Now that we've talked about Mr. P's and David Schwartz's warnings, it's time to talk about the most important question: what can investors who didn't listen to their what to do now? It's easy to feel bad about missed chances, but there's still time to make smart choices going forward. Here's how you can stop making the same mistakes and start focusing on the long-term potential of XRP. First, let's talk about patience. One of David Schwartz's main messages has always been to think about the long-term strategy for Ripple and XRP instead of responding to short-term price changes. For investors who have sold when the price of XRP went down because of how volatile it is, it's time to rethink their plan. Cryptocurrency markets are typically unstable, but Ripple's long-term value is based on cross-border payments that are used in the real world and its growing role in this way of thinking will help you understand that XRP's true value lies in its usefulness,